Hi everybody, and welcome to my studio. It's a beautiful day, so once again we're outside and we're painting. So I have all my colors on my palette here, and they're going to show up at the bottom of your screen. Today I thought we would do kind of a misty mountain scene. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into a little bit of white, a little bit of black, a little bit of Prussian blue, and just mixing them on the brush. And I'm going to start from the top of the canvas, and I'm just going to start doing some side-to-side strokes, little X's. And because I have the liquid white, it's going to get lighter and lighter as I move them. Something like that. And then I'm just going to blend it with the paintbrush. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my fan brush. Actually, I'm going to use a 2-inch brush. And today we're going to do lots of different layers of mountains. So I'm going to mix some colors. I'm going to mix some phthalo blue, some Prussian blue, a little bit of black, sap green. A little bit more Prussian blue in this. And we're going to make a couple different piles of paint. So spread that out. And I'm going to add some white to about half of it. I'm going to cut that in half. Add white to the other half of that. So I'm creating 4 different piles of paint. They're all the same color. They're just a little bit lighter each time. So I have light, a little bit lighter, darker, and the darkest. And we're going to play around with different layers of mountains today. So I'm going to take a 2-inch brush. I'm going to go into my lightest color. These mountains, these are going to be nice grass mountains. They're going to be quite far away. And I'm just going to tap the canvas, maybe a little bit dark. Just with the corner of the brush. These are going to be some beautiful grass mountains that we have here in Matsumoto. Just tapping, and I'm going to create a small mountain. Actually, I'm going to change this a little bit. I want this mountain range to poke up. Really easy to change your mind doing this kind of paint. That's our first mountain. I'm going to take a clean brush and I'm going to be tapping the bottom. With mountains, the top of the mountain is always much more defined than the bottom of the mountain. So we're going to just tap, 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 tap. Because I have the liquid white on the canvas, it's going to gradually fade away into nothing. Use the brush to take away any kind of brush strokes. And these are going to be grass mountains. Some mountains are so high up they have lots of ice and snow on them. These are grass mountains. They're not so high up that they're only covered in rock. I go to my next lightest color, this one here, and repeat the process. And I think I want to have a valley here. So this one's going to get darker. Just like that. think of all the mountains, these grass mountains are the easiest ones to do. Take a clean brush, tap the bottom. You don't need a lot of detail and definition in your mountains at this point because they're really, really far away. The only thing that you should be able to see in your mountains at this point is just basic color. Basic color and shape. I go to my next darkest color. And let's put one right here. Like that. And it's quite tall because it's really close to us. Each time you add a layer, you're going to tap the bottom out to diffuse the light, create some mist, and help each layer stand on its own 2 feet. So I have 1, 2, 3 layers. Now next is my darkest layer. So I'm going to make sure this is really, really dark, and I'm going to add more sap green to it too, because the closer we get, the more color we're going to be able to see in this mountain. And this one starts right here, goes down steeply, I think. Here. Something like that. So we have layers and layers and layers of mountains. Do you feel like you're in the mountains in Japan yet? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our knife and we're going to start to add some of the trees that are going to be in these mountains. Really easy. Here and there, you're going to do some scratches. Show some white. You can take a liner brush with a little bit of paint thinner, go into your white. Do some lines too. A lot of this stuff is going to get covered up, so don't worry too much. But when the mountains are starting to get this close and they're looming over you, you can look in through the darkest parts and you can see parts of the trees that are in there. So it's really important to include those. Something like that. And since these mountains are quite close to us, we're going to highlight them. We're going to use some sap green, some cad yellow, just a little bit. These things are still quite far away. Just enough to show where the light is hitting these these trees. And we're going to start highlighting that. If you get any that are a little bit brighter than usual, that's good. The trees are going to get different amounts of light. You can change your color by going into different yellows, yellow ochre. Maybe this mountain is quite high. I imagine he's getting a lot of light, so we can get him real good. Yeah, like that. Let's push this down here. Something like that. I get really excited when I paint. Sometimes I forget things that I want to include. I think in this one I want to include a river. So I'm going to use my phthalo blue, my phthalo green, and that makes a really nice kind of aqua color. There are some places in Japan where the water is like a beautiful turquoise color. Especially like on the train from Matsumoto or Nagoya to Kyoto, you can get like this beautiful watercolor just like this. And these are just horizontal strokes starting from the bottom going down. And it's such a really nice color. It's like the kind of color you see in tropical islands like, you know, Bermuda, Cayman, something like that. So it's really, really nice color to have. Now I'm going to lay down the land. So I'm going to use just a dry brush. I'm going to go to my mountain. I'm going to pull it down. And everywhere I pull down, it makes instant reflections. That's why I love this wet on wet painting. It's so fast, it works so well, and it's like a magic trick. And then just lightly to the side. Using the same direction that you used to make the water in the first place. And let's set in a nice water line. So to do the water line, take a clean knife. A little bit into liquid white. And take some of your white. Get a little bit of blue in there. You're probably going to get blue in there anyway because you're painting. And just add a little water here and there. Really important that you do a nice horizontal stroke. You're not going to see too much land or anything this far away, so you don't need to put that in just yet. And just like that, we have instant beautiful water with our many layers of mountains. And if you really wanted to, you could stop there and you could have a great painting of a lake. But the place I have in mind doesn't have really any lakes. We have a nice river here. So I want to make a river. And all you do to turn a lake into a river is you just add more land. So I'm going to go into some sap green, some add yellow, yellow ochre, doesn't matter, all the yellows. And I'm going to start tapping in land. When you're tapping, make sure it's a tap, not a stroke. You really want your bristles to bend. And the way it bends and the way the bristles flare out like that, that's what gives you like those little sticky up parts of grass and things like that that look really good. Every once in a while, like change your color. And that's going to help add a lot more distance into your painting. The entire point of adding all those layers of mountains is because it adds distance, it makes it interesting. It gives it 3D depth. Keep going. And just go with the rest. A little bit darker. Doesn't make a big deal. A lot of people, when they're doing art for the first time, they obsess over color. And color is important, but it's not the most important thing in the world. Just general differences in lightness and darkness tend to be really important. So don't obsess whether you got like the perfect shade of blue or the perfect shade of green or whatever. Think more light and dark rather than perfect shades. And I think that'll help you out. I still think we have a little bit too much of a lake. Not so much a river. Maybe the river goes down like this. So I'm going to use some dark, maybe some brown, get into that. Let your colors play around together, it's not a big deal. And just sort of close off this river. You can paint over things, it's not a big deal. Over there. Whenever you're putting anything into the water, you still need to add your reflection. So pull straight down. Magic reflections are so easy. Water is just about the easiest thing in the world to paint. The magic white, liquid white. It's got all kinds of different names. It's really just, it's just titanium white, and easy. You can make it yourself. I'll probably do a video showing you guys how to do that. So that's looking a lot more like a river. Looking a little bit empty, we're going to add some trees now. So go into Prussian blue, black, sap green, brown, dark colors, basically dark colors. And I think I'm going to start putting in some evergreen trees. Maybe one here. Do a little tap, that's your guide. And then little pushy down strokes. Get bigger as you go down. Another one, maybe here. If you're just pushing down, you start to run out of paint, you turn your fan brush over. Let's just keep going down, why not? helping close in our river. But whenever we make a change like that, if it's in the water, we just pull down. Pull across. Add a water line. You can do that all day. Do that all day, just changing your painting. With a different pan brush, clean pan brush, you can use some sap green, some sap green, some cadmium yellow, a little bit of phthalo blue. Blue looks really nice in these spruce trees. And I'm gonna highlight the one that's just closest to us. I'm gonna leave the other guy alone. I want him in the back, so he's gonna be in shadow. Maybe push up down here, there's some grass. Like that. And now we have this whole side of the painting to play around with. One thing that you can do to save yourself on cleaning brushes all the time, buy more brushes. Have a dark brush, have a light brush, and that way you shouldn't have to clean so many brushes while you're painting. I'm going to go back in that super dark color that's just a mix of black, Prussian blue, green, brown, all these different colors. Mix your colors and there's a big tree. Push it down. Reload. If you find you're having trouble getting it to stick, go into just a little bit of the brush cleaner that you have. So to clean your brush, you should be using like odorless paint thinner. Bob used to say go into the hardware store, smell it yourself. You don't want to be that guy smelling paint thinner in the hardware store. Just ask them a question. If I can buy odorless brush thinner in Japan, not speaking Japanese very well, you can do it wherever you live. But if you do find that your paint's not sticking very well, a little bit of paint thinner goes a long way into helping make it stick. A little bit more. I want to leave that part alone. I kind of like how that river is going into nowhere. So I want to leave that part alone. Maybe this tree is going to be down here because I like the mountain. One thing to learn is like how to leave things alone. That's really, really important. Dark stuff. Do that. And when you paint a tree, it doesn't matter if it's one of these spruce trees or if it's a deciduous tree with leaves. You kind of paint them like sandwiches. The back tree first. Take some brown, some white or whatever, some blue. Color doesn't overly matter, like I've said. You can tap in the tree trunk. Here sticks out. Lots of things sticking out outside. The more of these sticky out things you add, I think it's good. Makes things look alive, I feel. Anything's really good. You go onto that light highlight brush, go into your lighter colors. Don't be afraid to add blue into your highlight for these trees. It's not a bad idea. Add a little bit of highlight on that top of the tree, in the bottom part kind of alone. yellow. Down here, these bushes, keep them brighter maybe. And that's not bad, there's a tree there. Stuff. One problem you might run into is a lack of power. So right now, I have the top of my bush here, but the bottom of my bush is almost blending too much into the grass. I can't see it very well. So I need to increase my power. What I mean by power, I really just need contrast. So to add contrast, you really need to focus on your darks and your lights. I don't have any power here, and it's not looking really good because there's no dark color. There's nothing dark for my tree to bite into. So I'm just going to go in with some darks. Right here at the bottom, create some shadows. By adding that dark, all of a sudden the light spots get a little bit more powerful, they're a little bit better. You can also touch some of your white, liquid white. Just get the tops just a little bit brighter. That's not too bad. And I think the one thing that we're going to add right now, just to add a little bit more depth, so each layer, and this is the lesson today, each layer that you add adds depth to your painting. So look at the painting the way it is right now. The next thing I'm going to do is going to make my wife really angry. She hates it. She's seen me ruin paintings by doing this, but 9 times out of 10 I think it works out. I'm going to go like this. Something like that. She's scowling at me. Nothing worse than an angry wife. And this tree is going to push everything back. Circles along the side here. Got a big belly. Lots around. A lot more brown. Continually build layers. Touching it, pulling down, you're going to get, if you touch it, you pull down like this, you're going to start getting texture in your tree. That's one of the wonderful things, the only thing you can really do with oil painting that you can't do with much else is get real texture that you can touch with your hand. Add some glimpse to that tree, just dark colors. Brown and black. Like that. And then add some highlight to that old tree. Take that highlight brush we have, maybe yellow. Yellow on this side. And on this side. A little bit more dark color. I didn't lay out enough for myself. Sometimes that happens. You start painting, you got an idea in your mind of what you're going to paint, and it ends up just a little bit differently than you expected. So for this one, you want to use this really dark Prussian blue. Put some bushes around. Finish this painting. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my signature. So take some paint thinner. Use whatever color you want to use for your signature. I've used bright red for a long time, so I'm going to use bright red again today. And you want to thin it out a lot. With oil painting, a thin paint will stick to a thick paint, and we're at the end of our painting, so we need a really thin paint to stick on. A bit more. And sign your name. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope to see you guys again really soon. I hope you learned a little something about how to do oil painting. And I hope you have appreciation for the different layers that can be in a painting. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye.